Hi, guys, online, just connecting with you. Can you? Yeah, good, Chantel. And I'm just reducing the decibels here so we can get everything. We're just getting connected, everybody, and people, as you can see, are coming in online. So you are slowly but surely entering an educational space you've never been in like this before. So everything has to work technically. So I'm just going to do a quick test with the online students in our little cosmos. We can't see you, but we know you are on your planet. There's planet C, there's planet MH, there's planet J and JS and PM and LH. You don't have to show your faces. It's okay. What I need to do, though, is Lydia, for example, can you just jump on your microphone and say hello and just speak for 10 seconds to make sure we can hear you? Please go ahead.
Hi, my name's Lydia. I'm a game art major and I'm in my second year.
Lovely, lovely. It's working. We've worked very hard, this college, to create really, this is the world's first truly multimedia classroom. And that's why we work hard and we're getting a lot of attention for it. And it's all because of the students and because of the technical team. So things have to work technically because that's the time we live in. So Lydia, that's great. And I'll just do one more final check and then I can talk to the in-person students and we can get going shortly. Josh Feldman, can you just say hi on your microphone? Josh may be walking his dog. That's okay. Josh, Priscilla, can you jump on your microphone and just say hello? So we
Yes.
have
Hi. My
great.
name is
Okay.
Priscilla.
Yeah, that's good. So if Chantel's connected, Priscilla, so everyone else will be connected through audio, and you can always show your faces too. But I want to first make sure everybody is connected online because we have students joining through our own video conferencing system. But then there's also the live stream on YouTube, and students may jump in there from around the world. So, but the critical thing is everybody here. And as a matter of fact, the real critical thing is everybody in person. Then we sort of build from there. So that's good. We've got a connection. We're going to start in a few minutes. Okay, everybody, I'm going to shut the door. And then we're going to blast off with short history of the world. Lydia, good question. No, you don't need to take notes right now. You'll see next to me on the video wall, there's a big slide that says GC. We create our own PowerPoint slides as we go, and we take notes as we go on the video wall. And then we download that later for all of you. So you should be able to see, maybe just read out loud, Lydia, to the folks here. What do you see on the video wall where it says, "Welcome to the Rotary Global Classroom"?
Classroom at Durham College in Oshawa, Canada. On the menu today, short history of the world, 12 to 2 p.m. And then I can't read the Eastern time, I think.
All right. Good. So that's good because that's the idea, is that everybody everywhere on planet Earth is experiencing the same thing at the same time. And that's what we've created. So you should be able to read that. But also, Lydia, just know that those notes there that we'll be adding will be downloaded and put up on DC Connect after the class. So those are the notes. Those are the class notes. Okay. So let me just do one final thing, and then I think we can really start. Just maybe. So what's that? Yeah. Okay, just so you can. And I'll show you one other thing for the online folks. See, watch what will happen here. I can do this. And then you see me over here taking notes. Okay. Hi, everybody. But soon it's not going to be me. It's going to be the students doing this, not me. So, anyways, I haven't even started the class yet. Okay, I'm just sort of trying to get everybody connected, but finally the technology, every semester it's working better and better. So come on in, guys. we'll get going. So let's bring the camera back here for everybody. And I think I'm en route to class, but I was sure, absolutely. That's the idea of the global class. Chantel, is wherever you are, however you are, come as you are, and just bring your brain to the class. So if you're walking to the class from the bus and you're late, that's okay. Just connect. Your brain is in. If you don't want to be here in person, you don't have to be. You can be somewhere else. You could even be in, Mumbai, India, for all I know. You could be here live right now. So I don't want to underestimate for all of you what we've worked hard in doing at Durham College with this room. This is, we like to think, the coolest, best classroom you're ever going to be in anywhere on the planet right now. And we're creating it with all of you. A $500,000 video wall here, a lot of tech, and a lot of smart people who think like Stan Lee does of Marvel Comics. And I'm not going to get into a debate over Marvel versus DC because I'm sure you guys have lots of things to say, but Stan Lee did say something brilliant about what he wanted to do with his art. Do any of you know the word Excelsior? Why don't we just jump into this for a moment, okay? We're already kind of surfing and we're going to start, all right? So is everybody good? You all here? Your brains are here? Okay, it's you can keep your tech and your machines with you. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you no, but I'm going to earn your attention. I'm going to earn your desire to learn. And if you don't want to do that, then we'll talk privately and I'll help you. But I'm not going to order you and say, don't bring your machines into the class because our machines are central to human civilization. And the way we use our machines will define what we do in the future. So great. If you want to daydream online through the class on your laptop, terrific. As long as you're ready for a question and your brain's here. So this student has already said, and I'll go into introductions in a moment. I just want to make sure I get this word on the board. What's your name? Yeah. Alec? Okay. So just watch how this is going to work kind of quickly, okay? Because first, Alec, because you understood what Excelsior means, this is really good. This is so central to where we're going in this semester. So generally when we have, it's going to be very interactive. So for the international students, you've just arrived from India, right? Okay. You've never been in a class before where you're going to matter and we're going to want to hear from you. Okay. Because in a lot of other countries, all you do is you just sit and you take notes and you watch PowerPoints and you get bored and you leave and you come to Canada. So you're going to be we're going to want to know what you think. Okay. So when we have this going, you take a microphone and you kind of hold it like karaoke. Okay. Because that way all the people online will be able to hear. And remember, this is all recorded. There are 113 students registered for this class. And a lot of them are just going to be watching the recordings. So it's got to be audible. So that's why, Okay, good. So just let's put one thing on the board and then we're going to slow down, okay? But let me go over here and just for the first little wisdom that we've already got going today, Alec understands Excelsior. You see, I shouldn't be taking notes. Alec should, but we'll just go. Alec gets Excelsior. Okay. So as you can see for all of you, you can see it up there, you can see it here. So I know for a fact that because Alec was the only one who said he understood it, that means everybody else here is going to learn something right now. This is good. We're Or Alec, you explain what it means, okay? Or do your best, okay? Do your best. Anybody online, do you know what Excelsior means?
I do know.
Oh, that's who's this?
Me,
Ooh,
my
yeah, hold on. Watch this.
me.
Ah, okay. I've never had so much fun in a classroom, but let me just put this full screen so we get this really going, okay?
Mhm.
Okay. So is everybody starting to get a sense that we're really connected and it's kind of okay? Because Alec was the first one who said it, I'm going to let him respond, and then it's Marte, Maite,
Maite.
welcome to the Global Classroom. Alec, could you just tell everybody what Excelsior means?
I believe it means to exceed and to be greater than.
Yeah,
Like,
let's see. I'd
exceed expectations and go above and beyond.
go above and beyond. That's lovely. So we can add to this for a second. We're really jumping into this. What's your name? Atif. Atif. How's your English? Pretty good? Could you go stand by the board and write down above and beyond? Well, Alec can go. Alec, you go.
No.
Yeah, Atif, yeah, you hold this. We'll get this. I was planning on doing this later, but it's already working. So go and just write down on that same. You're looking at live PowerPoint slides. There will be no PowerPoints in this class. No things that I prepared 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I put up there and you all fall asleep. These are fresh from the oven. We are creating our slides in the class based on what I teach you. And then you take that afterwards and you study those. You get it? Okay, so just write your name, okay? So we know first. Excellent. Atif, okay. Yeah, perfect, okay? And then, so you're saying it's go above and beyond. So just write go above and beyond. We are using technology and smart people in this class to go above and beyond with education so that you can go above and beyond in your lives. That make sense? We haven't gotten to history yet. That's what this class is. I'm telling you about where you're going to be learning first. You're in an environment that is a different kind of educational space that we hope will demonstrate to all of you, with your help and guidance, that we understand that in the post-pandemic world, when everybody was having a meltdown and everybody was at home online, we figured out that maybe we can create something new in education that takes the best from the pandemic, Zoom and all those, combines it with in-person and goes above and beyond. Okay, great. So, Maite, just go stand back. Watch how this can work, which is really cool because we'll have people join from all over the world. Tell Atif what to write on the smartboard right now in terms of elaborating on Alex's definition of Excelsior. Go ahead. Maite, you can, do you see, okay, so you see, I will show you, I'll put the camera over there so you can see and give you a little bit of a more orientation. Okay.
Okay.
So Alec has given a good definition of Excelsior. Stan Lee, the creator of a lot of the great Marvel comics, talked about this being a driving philosophy for him in his creative life. So is there anything that Atif should write to further define what does Excelsior mean? Go ahead.
Excelsior comes from excelsium, that's Latin, and it means superior.
It means
superior.
Superior.
Superior or high, up high. Yes.
High. Nice. Excelsium.
Yes.
Latin. Geez, we're already getting
Excelsior.
to Roman times and we
Yeah.
just started. Okay, so thank you, Mate. Mate. Mate.
Maite.
Maite. Maite. Maite.
Mhm.
Maite. The truth is that you are registered and enrolled in Short History of the World at Durham College. So you're likely to be sitting at home in the Durham or Oshawa region right now.
Yeah.
However, later in the semester, we're going to have people joining us from all over. So she could be anywhere right now. But where are you exactly? Could you just give us your location? Where are you
Yes,
sitting right now?
I'm sitting in my office in my house by the lake. Do you want my address?
Great. The lake.
By
Nice.
by the lake. It's 5 minutes away.
Good. Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to take a little deep breath and we're going to come back and sort of start the class officially. But I just wanted to, seize a moment here. There was a little moment where everything was working well. I've got your attention and you can get a sense of what's going to happen. But you can come back now, Atif, and I'll bring the camera back for everybody online. And I control what you see online. So I can make sure that for all the online participants, they are never looking at a gallery of thumbnails. That is deadly for education. And that's what a lot of you did during the pandemic when you were on Zoom, is you would be seeing a small square of this and this and this, and everybody is just sitting still and getting very stressed and tired. So I'm going to say to you, don't show your cameras. You can be moving around, walking your dog, and I'll make sure that what all of the students see online is this space. So they can interact with all of you and feel like they're right here. Okay. This is good. This is really good. And let me just make sure I've got, yeah, good. So I can see the live chat up there. And so I'm going to start the class and introduce myself and tell you today all about what a short history of the world is. And by the end of today's class, in a couple of hours, you're going to have a good sense of what you've signed up for. If you decide at the end of today's class this is not for you, no problem. There's lots of great gen ed electives at this college that you can take. And I will not mind, no hurt feelings at all, really. It's all about you. I have, just in this class alone, Short History of the World, 113 students enrolled, and I teach 2 other courses here, so I have enough on my plate. So don't worry, okay? Just make sure that today, by the end of the class, you understand what's going to happen here. Next week, we will start the story, and I'm going to go back chronologically, and I'm going to tell you the story of essentially how it happened that we, the human race, in a very short period of time, 10,000 years of civilization, have reached the point where we're changing the Earth. We are now the dominant force of change on planet Earth. How did that happen? See, there is a story that a lot of you probably have sensed already, but have never been told or helped to understand. And that story, in terms of history, is not about Indian history, although India is very important in human civilization, or Chinese, or World War II, or World War I, or the American Revolution, or Confederation, and all these things. Those are national, older stories. They all help us, but we have a new story to tell because we live in the era of science and technology that enables us to do this. And it's called the human story on planet Earth. It's the big picture story. And when we start to tell that story, and we tell the story of who are the humans, how did they get here, and where are we going? How did we reach this point where Homo sapiens sapien, in 10,000 years of civilization, has created existential risks? Climate change, artificial intelligence, omnicide, nuclear war, gender bending lives now that are so confusing that we're changing the pronouns. Some of you privately, in your own thoughts, may not even like the sex that you were given by Mother Nature. And you may choose in some time to do exactly what this lovely little actress in Canada has done. Ellen Page, who is now Elliot Page. And she's pretty happy, or he, or they, pretty happy doing it. Change is remarkable now. How did this happen? Well, if we take a step back and we tell the planetary story and we start to situate the humans in terms of who else has been on this planet and what's come and gone, then we start to see something remarkable about us. So I'm going to go back to the beginning next week and take you through the story as kind of quickly as I can, hitting critical points, starting 13.7 billion years ago with the Big Bang, which is what we believe with our science today is the true beginning, is the beginning of evolution that led to us. So we're going to go through that, and then we're going to get up to civilization in a couple of classes, and then we're going to spend most of the semester just focusing on these 10,000 years of human civilization. That's all we've been around for, essentially, in terms of civilization. 10,000 years. And we're already, it's peanuts to the universe. You've got, what's your name? Ryan? Absolutely. So I get a sense that you probably already have some knowledge, Ryan, and that's why you're here. So that's going to start next week. And each week, there will be another chapter in the story. Where we begin is next week, and we're going to roar through from 13.7 billion years ago, and I'm going to be showing you all sorts of things on the video wall up to 7 million years ago, which is when the Great Divergence happened, when humans split away, or proto-humans, from our sort of primordial ape ancestors. Remember, we humans share 98.4% of our DNA, 98.4% of our DNA with chimpanzees. That's a fact. There's a lot of things you're going to hear in this class this semester that might blow your mind, might rattle you. I want those among you who are religious, who bring your religion into this class with a lot of skepticism about evolution, to know that in no way do I diss religion in this class. Quite the opposite. I will help you to understand what religion is for humans. However, I want everyone to be clear at this point, and then I'll stop. There is a story to tell that science has proven again and again and again and again. And it's about the central force in our lives. And that force has been in this world essentially since the Big Bang, when subatomic particles began that led to the atoms that we are all created from. And that's called evolution. Next week, when we look at where we begin, we will look at creation myths from religion's point of view, whether it's Christianity, Judaism, Islam, tribal mythologies, Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism. There are many different religions. What's that? Gnostics, Coptics, atheists, agnostics. But I'm afraid to I'm not breaking news to anybody. There's a bigger story that unites all of human beings on this planet. And it's the human story, and it's the one that science tells us. So that's the story I'm going to help you to understand. When we begin to look at human civilization, there are a lot of other sources we can draw from: politics, sociology, and culture, and so many things. But I just want everyone to be aware that if you're afraid of evolution and you're afraid of change, please be patient. If you think that this course is not adhering to a particular religious perspective, as in the Christian Adam and Eve or some further indigenous mythology, it's not because I don't respect those things. It's only because there's something bigger going on here. That's all. And I need to help you to understand that. Okay. That's it for now. My little bit. Ryan? Okay, hold on. We've got to, already there's students who are, Ryan, just so make sure that all the students out there can hear you. Karaoke.
On the spot a little, eh?
Yeah, go ahead, okay, and jump in. And today, all that matters is we're going to cover some of the big stuff in the course. You know what this course is. You know what the expectations are. Then we're going to have a little activity in about 45 minutes where you're all going to meet each other, and I'm going to see what you want from me. And then I'll listen to you. Okay. So, anyways, Ryan, please.
No, I was just gonna ask if like maybe what you're referring to is like when you say like there's a bigger thing going on, like maybe have to do with like just us being pure conscious beings like living on this planet, right?
Yep.
And that evolving into all these different forms of like expression, right? Because
Mhm.
like without expression, there is no individuality and there's no like because the universe is just energy, right? So and like we're all just different forms of energy, right?
Matter and energy.
Yeah.
And in fact, as Albert Einstein
Right.
showed us, that energy creates matter eventually if it moves fast enough. That's E equals mc squared. If you get energy moving at the speed of light, it becomes matter. So yeah, so what's remarkable about the human story, Ryan, as we start to get into it and you see the arrival of humans in our brains is our creativity and our expressiveness, our restless curiosity in brains. Yeah.
It's interesting because like you can even see things like the light spectrum, for example. Like you shoot light through a pyramid and it breaks into the different colors of the rainbow, right?
Yeah.
That's a form of like one form of expression of light, right?
Yeah.
And it forms like into these like standard things we call colors, but this basis of expression right there, because like light, in the beginning God said, "Let there be light." Physics says the same thing, right? So,
Well, we have to be careful when we say God said, because what if you were once upon a time living in the Roman times, the great Roman Empire that stretched? They believed in multiple gods. There was no one God, there were many gods. And what about,
all the gods are one.
now we're getting transcendent and philosophical. That's good.
Energy, all energy.
The class will be very philosophical. We will ask these big basic questions. As Stephen Hawking, one of the great humans that's ever been alive, what a remarkable story. I'm going to assume most of you know him or know of him. But for those of you who don't, I mean, he was one of our most important physicists, the 20th century, who also was profoundly handicapped and nonetheless carried on his work in a wheelchair with the help of modern technology. And as a result, we got Excelsior. Without that technology, right? And he said that, all young people today, they must be addressing the big basic questions. They have to, because the world now is changing so much. And if they don't, they're going to be left behind, or they're going to be, well, some in more extreme cases, suicidal with stress and depression because they just are so overwhelmed. I'm hoping to help you be less overwhelmed in this class. Okay, great. So I'm going to keep going. I want to check in online with the students to make sure that everybody is hearing and seeing things clearly. So since Maite, I'll get it, has been
Maite,
brave.
yeah.
Are you hearing Ryan? Are you
Yes.
seeing? Yeah,
Yes.
everything's good. Okay,
Everything.
great. All right. So then I can come back and just concentrate on here. And I'm going to assume that if there's anybody out there that's jumped in on YouTube for now, because there we are live on YouTube with a latency of about 10 seconds, we may see some joining, but I only use YouTube for their recordings, their high def recordings.
I think Lydia had a question.
Okay, sure. I'm going to come back to great Toria and that way. Should what's the question, Lydia?
Yes, I was wondering. Excuse the noise.
Yep.
Are we going to be? So the idea is, when we look at religion in this course, it's going to be part of the human story. It's not going to be the whole thing. It's going to be part of it. And because that, are we going to be looking at the psychology and sociology of it?
It's a short history of the world. Okay, so a, not the, and it's only 14 weeks that we have. So I've had to create a narrative, Lydia. And so where religion fits in is that I will be showing you through week to week the central forces in the human story. They're like the currents that have been moving things along on this planet and that led to us and that are taking us into the future. And one of those great forces that humans created, Lydia, is religion. It's a human creation. So is science. So is technology. So is something like democracy or freedom, for example. So what I will do with religion is I will be introducing you at important points to the religious prophets, important religious prophets who were among our greatest free thinkers. And I will show you that they're the ones who helped to bring new powers to humanity. So it will be situated, Lydia, in a larger narrative of what are the breakthroughs towards the realization of greater power for ourselves. To steal a line from one of our great world historians, William McNeill, and religion is one of those breakthroughs. So is writing. So is democracy. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Sure. But please, and if you have any questions online, you can always jump in on your microphones as you're doing, or just go into the live chat, and we'll go from there. So I don't want to do a lot of talking today, but I have a few things I just need to tell you about that is very basic, like my name. My name is Lon, Professor Lon Appleby, and you can call me Lon. And what I teach out of the Rotary Global Classroom is the story of humanity, past, present, and future. So on Friday afternoons, I come in and we tell the story of where do we come from. On Wednesdays, in my other two Gen Ed electives, there's Humanity's Destiny from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time here, and we look at where are we going in this century and in this new millennium, the third millennium, the 2000s. And then on Wednesday mornings, there's Global Leader, where we look at, and we have guests that join us from around the world, young, interesting people who are doing things that help to inspire us about leadership and the future. And we kind of look at what's happening in the world now. So combined, those three courses are asking the big basic questions. Where do we come from? What are we doing, or who are we, and where are we going? And sometimes students, during the time they're at Durham College, will take those three Gen Ed electives, and they get a pretty good sense of this sort of human story, planetary story, to help them in understanding what they need to know for the future. Because the future is planet-wide, as you all know that. Whether you're traveling from countries to country, or whether you just go onto your phone or your laptop and immediately you're talking to people from all over the place. So Fridays is where do we come from? That's what you've signed up for. You're always welcome to jump into the classes on Wednesdays if you want. They're open to you, but not the assignments and the evaluated material those times. That's for the people who've enrolled and are paying here at Durham College. But there's lots of other people who are going to come and go in these classes because they're sort of interested, and they can help us to learn too. Everybody can help us to learn something. Is that okay in terms of how it's designed? Do you have any reservations about that kind of format? Please, if you have anything you'd like to say, you're welcome to it. You may feel a little uncomfortable. It's the first class. So just know that I'll always be reaching out to you. In terms of how you'll be assessed, and knowledge will be assessed this semester, there are no quizzes or tests, but there's a lot of writing, a lot of reflecting. And why don't we just do a quick breakdown, because students often have questions about how they will be assessed in this. And Atif, would you go back to the, and to go, do another slide, just take your right hand, take your finger down to the G, put it just on that little 2 lines there. You see the 2 lines? Just, there we go. Yeah, pull. And you just keep pulling. Nice, okay? So, could you just please write assessment, A-S-S-E-S-S-M-E-N-T, those 4 S's, okay? Assessment this semester. Great. So here's how it's going to work. You are going to all get 100% at the end of the semester if you do the following. There will be 2 assignments and 4 smaller reflections. All of that will total 100%, but I'm going to break it down for you, okay? Nice. You know, when some students write here, there's a moment of truth for some of them, because they realize as they put it up there, and everybody can see, they don't want people to see how they write because they're not writing very well. In other words, they don't write anymore. They just type. And the truth is, as you will see, when we began to form our first villages and empires, that the greatest, maybe the greatest human invention of all that really drove us forwards was the invention of the written word. Long after we were starting to speak.
Professor, so
yes.
It has to be handwriting?
What's that? Go ahead, Mate.
You do it with your pencil? Yes, handwriting?
When you deliver the assignments, they will be typed and delivered digitally. But I mean, yes. Here, Mate, as you watch Atif take notes, you are seeing him use his hand.
Okay, I understood.
When we invented writing, it was with the hand. And I'm going to go even a little bit further and tell you something right now, because it's going to be there in every class, particularly when I show you how we created the alphabet, which is an incredible human invention. I love writing. I come from a background of communications journalism and television and film, and I had a career in that before I came here. For me, taking a pencil and a notebook and writing things down is how I think. I can't quite get my mind still enough and focused enough when I'm always online. There's too many things to go to, and I get really rattled. But I know that I have to make sure I'm online a lot. But when it comes to hard critical thinking, slowing my mind down, and, well, I got to take the pencil and write it out slowly and see what I'm writing with my. This is what we humans started to do that gave us power. We started to write with our hands. You're going to even see how we got our hands. We became bipedal, which is 2, not 4, quadrupeds. Having that hand. And I'm going to give you one thing to say about writing, and then we'll move on. It's a very powerful thought. And some of you may not understand it yet, but we're going to write it down, and then we'll get to this. There's a wonderful world historian. You're going to hear about a lot of them this semester. Jacob Bronowski, his name is classic in the early mid-20th century. He wrote a book called The Ascent of Man. Jacob Bronowski, B-R-O-N-O-S-K-I. Yep, S-K-I, excellent. And he wrote a book called The Ascent of Man, Bronowski, The Ascent of Man, A-S-C-E-N-T The Ascent of Man. And the television series that he made in the 1970s is one of the great documentary series of all time. You just Google, you'll see Jake Bronowski. Ascent of Man, The Ascent of Man. He said, yep, ascent and then of. Yes, Ascent of Man. Good. Nice writing. You know, the way your hand is moving, it's clean and it's, cursive. They're connecting the letters. We don't have uppercase, lowercase, and a bit of a mess. Listen to this. You don't have to write this down yet, but I'll just tell you. The hand is the cutting edge of the mind. The hand is the cutting edge of the mind. Can you write that down now? And then we'll move on. We will understand what that means more and more as we go through this semester, but I need to help you to write better. So all your assignments are reflections and writing. The hand is the cutting edge of the mind. Lovely. Thanks, Ati. If you have a disability with writing or you hate it and you think you shouldn't be writing well or you can't, please come talk to me and I'll get you some help. You will see in the human story that writing is thinking. And those people who are literate and can write are the people who, well, along with people who can draw and put things down, let me just say, you need to be writing well. I don't want to put too much pressure on some of you who may feel like they've had a lot of trouble with it or have a disability. Please come talk to me if you do, okay? Yes. It's okay, just so they can, Maite can hear you and Matthew and Julian and others. Go ahead.
I don't know about other people, but personally, I was in high school during COVID, and already to begin with, I have dyslexia.
Yep.
And I've also been shamed for the way I write from my parents because I have a messy handwriting. So throughout my COVID high school experience online, I didn't have the need to write by hand, so my ability to sit there and write for a while
Yes.
went down. And I think that might apply to other people in the class, maybe if they had a similar experience
Sure.
as me.
What's your name?
Ariana.
Ariana. Thank you, Ariana, and thank you for telling us something meaningful early on in the course. It takes some courage to do that. You will never, ever be shamed in this class or by me. I mean, I have too much respect for the miracle of humans and life to shame even a, sunflower. That's one of the things you're going to see as we tell this story more and more is, wow, what a miracle it is that we're here and we're doing all that we're doing in spite of the fact we can blow ourselves up. It's important to know that when you submit an assignment, you will not have to write by hand the way Atif is doing. This is just for the Smartboard notes. But I can help you, to get better. And if there's something there, and I'll make sure that you come out stronger at the end of the semester in terms of your writing. And there are tutors I can put you with that are for free here at the Student Learning Center here, SALS, I've used a lot. I have a lot of international students. You've probably seen them, and probably about 60 to 70% of them I send to tutors because their English needs help. So and you will get a better mark because you're making an effort too. So, just be patient, and I'm on your side in trying to help you to learn. But there are things we do need to learn, and learning can be hard. As the Buddhists would say, give me the easy way or give me the hard way. I'll take the hard way. What's that? Well, it's the idea that, and you will see who created Buddhism, the great Prince Siddhartha Gautama, the Indian prince. But I don't shy away from stress in this class or hard work. But it's a question of how we approach that stress and hard work that is a big game changer. And if we want to learn and grow, Well, you'll now see the story of how we humans almost died out as a species. About 40,000 years ago, there was ice all over the planet, and we humans were moving through that ice. And science is telling us more and more that we got through that ice age. And when the ice melted, human civilization began. So we humans are resilient. We suffer, but when we suffer and deal with things, we get stronger. You'll see that in our story, the human story. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So let me finish with the assessment, and then we're going to stop and give you a chance to meet each other and talk to each other and tell me what you're expecting. Okay, so we have up here a nice little fresh PowerPoint. Come on in. I could have just stood here and present you with the next PowerPoint slide, and here come the bullet points, you know, assessment and blah, 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 blah. But we're doing it together. And it's very current of this moment. So, 2 assignments. Minor assignment is worth 20%. Can you just put colon, 2 assignments, not semicolon, but colon, 2 dots? Okay, nice. And just put minor, 20%. And then major, 30%. And then the 4 reflections, each of them are worth 12.5% each. So 4 reflections, colon, 12.5% each. Does the math add up to 100%? I hope it does. 12.5 times 4 is 50%, and then, okay. So then the way it will work, it's sort of spread out. The first reflection, which will be part of a discussion thread, will be due in week 3. And I'll set you up for that next week, and that will be about 450 to 500 words. Then the next 2 weeks later, there'll be another reflection. And then there'll be the first assignment. And by midterm, you don't need to write this down. It's okay. By midterm, 40% of your grade will be there. Then we come into the second half of the semester, and we will have 50% or 60% of your grade at that point. So if the math isn't quite making sense, let me just rewind to make sure it does, because reflection 1 and reflection 2, 25%. First assignment, 45% of your grade will be done before the midterm reading week, October 23rd to the 27th. You come back, and then it will be 55% will be for the second half of the semester. Everything is about writing and reflecting, but for the final assignment, the big one, there'll be assignment sheets posted, you will have a chance to present it, do a video, do it in any medium you like. And I've had students do some very good videos in this class. I could show you many, some that have gotten recognized, won an award or 2. So you will have an option in that final assignment to really explore any other medium. But for those other reflections and for the minor assignment, they will all be written. Any questions? That clear? Yeah? Okay. Because we don't have a lot of people in person, not as much as I thought, which is good because we can keep this smaller. I'm going to be able to do a good activity with you in a moment where we're all going to stand and we're going to do kind of speed meeting. But I'm going to wait for a moment before I do that. And I want to make sure we include the students online in that. But I'd like to stop and see if anybody has any burning questions. Hold on a sec. This is going to be default. We've got a good mind moving here, okay? What program are you in? General Arts? What's your kind of driving, you have a driving interest in something in life? Is it okay if I ask what religion you follow? If you do? Oh, take the karaoke. Yep, go ahead.
I don't follow any specific one because I think every religion has like something to teach us. And I think like this is just like my personal opinion,
Yeah.
but like when you devote yourself too much to just one instead of the basis of conscious expansion, then you limit what you can learn, right? But if you keep an open mind, your body, instead of going into a state of resistance where it's like, no, you're wrong, back and forth, because the body can feel that, right? But if you stay in a state of open-mindedness, the body doesn't feel that resistance, and it has the ability to connect things and make things network with like brain cells and stuff like that, neurons.
So would it be fair for me to say that Ryan is a walking, living, breathing example of a free mind? He just likes to have no barriers and just blow those barriers off, and I want to explore and understand a lot. Well, that's a powerful human force. Have you ever wondered how we develop that quest for freedom, that need for liberty, that desire to go and see what's out there just for the sake of it? Like, go to the moon, go to Mars. Let's go into the next galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy, and get away from the Milky Way and see what kind of stars are out there and what kind of planets are out there. And
I would say curiosity is a human trait that leads us to new findings, I guess.
yeah, Priscilla, thank you for jumping in and making the online part work so well. You're using your microphone. Excellent. I hope that as we go further in the course and you see this story unfold, that you will start to understand a little bit more about why a young person like Ryan would say what he says. Because I have a feeling that you're all a bit like that. Let me just check, okay? Let me just check, and then we'll stop. One of the great forces in the human story in terms of civilization when it unfolds is this desire for freedom. And you're going to see in the early human societies, wherever they were, there really wasn't anything like freedom, except for those people who were in power, the god kings, who became our emperors and our rulers and our overlords. And it took humans quite a long time to realize that there's a better way, that we don't want to be ruled. We want to be our own rulers, our own prophets, our own kings. We want to figure it out for ourselves. And so it's a very powerful force, this desire to be freer. And you will see that, and you will see the people who died for that. You'll see the religious prophets, for example, who brought new ideas to the world and suffered for that, whether it was Jesus or Buddha or Moses or Zoroaster. So I'm glad that it's come out early, and let me just get a quick show of hands just to see if I've got evidence before we make any conclusions, and then we'll go online. Please raise your hand in person here if you would say that you have a little or more than a little of Ryan in you, wanting to know more, wanting to have a free mind and explore a lot of things. Just raise your hand. Yep, online, we're seeing you can do it. You can give the little hand online so we can see. Good. Let me just see. Yeah, watch, we're hearing. Yep, Lydia, Priscilla, Matthew, Julian. I don't know if Julian's there. Maybe his planet is really barren and he's trying to go find some water and he's disappeared for a while. Okay. Are you there, Julian? It doesn't, whatever. You'll be there sometime. So it almost looked like everybody was like that. Did you ever wonder where that comes from? Like, who gave that to you?
Suppression.
Ooh. Okay. Could you create another slide and we'll call this insights? Insights. Okay. And who said suppression?
That was me, Priscilla.
Priscilla. So could you just insights? INSIG. Yeah, insights. Okay. And then just put underneath number 1. Priscilla. We'll write her name. PRIS. Well, why don't you spell your name for Atif, Priscilla, and I'll take the camera over there so you can see him. And
Sure, it's
go ahead.
Priscilla.
Cila. Okay. Priscilla. And Priscilla, could you spell out for Atif suppression? Use your brain and see if we get the spelling correct, okay?
I'll let him
Suppression.
do-
And you cannot go to Google. You can't, it's got to come out of your head, out of your memory. It's okay if you're wrong. Somebody here will correct you. How do you spell suppression?
There you go. He spelled it.
Is that correct? Yeah, I think we got somebody here. Yeah. Isn't it two P's?
No.
Two P's and two S's? Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, well, I was going to say, I've had dyslexics before. We all have trouble spelling, right? It's two P's. So you can do this if you want. You can rub it with your hand. So, yeah. Great, Priscilla. Thanks. So suppression.
But question, what do you mean by suppression?
Well, we're going to finish this sentence. Good, Mate. You see, we have engagement.
Well, I would say, like, let's say as a woman, we are suppressed in society as sometimes certain things, decisions, like, let's say abortion laws are put on you. That's a sense of suppression.
Sure.
Yeah, okay,
So it
okay.
makes you want freedom. I would say that's kind of where I was going.
So suppression makes you want freedom.
Yes, I would say.
That's what we want to write.
Just to
Go ahead,
something,
Mate. Yep.
please. I am still struggling with language barrier. So that's why I ask what
Yes.
was the meaning. Okay.
Good. That's okay. Do you understand now? We're going to finish the
Yes,
sentence.
yes, I understand that it's
Suppression
something
makes-
that is imposed to you and you got to do it, either you want it or not.
Because if somebody, Mate, has their thumb in your forehead for a long time, eventually you're going to want to fight back and get rid of that thumb.
Because on the third eye.
Sure. Okay, hold on. What's your name? David? Welcome, David. And Angelina or
Ariana.
Ariana. Okay. Ariana, could you give the microphone today? You'll start to see how the class works, okay? Yeah, go ahead, David.
Wouldn't the word be more like oppression?
Pretty close.
I wouldn't know the conceptual difference between suppression and oppression, but I don't know. I think that for this context, oppression would be a little bit more accurate. Like, I think that either way, like, humans created languages just like to define the way they think, like to give like a shape to their thoughts and ideas. So maybe oppression would have like would give a better impression of what we're thinking right now.
Okay, let's write down then. We'll put underneath number 2, David, D-A-V-I-D. David, okay.
As you would usually
And just put oppression now. And do you want to spell oppression?
I think it's two P's this time.
Exactly.
R with double P.
Yeah,
Right.
double P.
O-P-P-R.
Okay.
You missed the R. Not operation, but
O-P-P.
oppression.
Oppression.
O-P-P-R-E-S-I-O-N. Oppression.
It's
or
2 P's and 2 S's.
2 S's as well, yeah.
And to finish this slide, so that when you go back and you study this, we're going to say, why don't you just put a bracket around those, like from the insights, just put like a little parenthesis or bracket, go from there and then go down start there like a little circle, a half circle around it, so that it's like an umbrella around those thoughts. From start at insights, and then go, and then put the other one there. Okay, good. And then
If I may,
Yes.
sorry, if I may just go back to David. Like when I meant suppression, like it prevents the development of something, right? Because it forcibly puts an end to something.
Yes.
So it's like the development of human or women in my train of thought.
Yes.
And that's why I was thinking suppression of the freedom.
Well, for the
But
sake of
oppression
yeah,
also works, I think.
for the sake of the class and for me to guide you, because I want you to understand some of the central forces today in our story we'll be exploring. I touched on
Okay.
evolution. You know, I've mentioned science and technology, but certainly the quest for freedom is. So I want to make sure that we complete this little slide. And
Okay, I would like to add
let me just
some.
stop for a second, Mayte, and just say,
Okay.
I'm just going to write down, these are the roots of freedom. That's all. Very simple for now, okay? The roots of a free mind. So just write down roots of a free mind or roots of freedom. Yeah, that's all. I just want you all to get this sense today as we, you know, move along of how we're going to learn. It's not just what we're going to learn, but we're going to learn in a kind of a new way. I hope it will feel more memorable and dynamic. And so far, I think it's succeeding, but it's only the first class because everybody is basically in this room, not online on their machines. And the people who are joining online are responding on their microphones. And that usually is a good sign that they're in the class. And then when you show your video, like Mayte, that's, you know, the gold standard of engagement. Here I am.
Of course.
Here I am,
Okay.
okay?
Yes,
But-
I don't understand why you don't show yourself if you are in a class, but whatever. Okay, I would like to go to the first moment you just asked. What makes humanity to evolutionate, to evolve? I'm not quite sure of the word in English. Okay.
We will
What
help
does-
you. We will help
what
you.
make us move? What make us move to do whatever?
Okay.
And I have two reasons.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. I want to
Yeah.
stop because I want to make sure we don't do too much this class and that we extract critical things. You've asked a very important question,
Let
Mayte,
me
and I
finish.
want us to write this down so that students understand we're going to try and
Yeah.
answer this through
Okay.
the semester.
And I think my two.
Hold on. Hold your thought. Okay. Yeah. Hold your thought. Could you just do another slide? Just pull and go Mayte's big question. Mayte's big question for our semester. Mayte. Mayte's big question. And we're just going to get her one big question and then we're going to move on, okay? So
Okay.
based on what she just asked, she was starting to go into answers, but we don't want to get answers yet. We just want questions. There's a question that she was just asking that is really important. How would we phrase that for Atif? Mayte's big. She wants to answer something, and she was about to. But what's her big question? She's asking something about humans. What makes humans do what they do? Very basic, very broad. What makes us tick? What makes human beings tick? Is it? There are many other questions we can ask, but what makes human beings tick? That's it. Could you write that nice big? What makes human beings tick? We don't have to answer it.
Oh, but we have to.
We will later. Mayte, we will later, okay? We
Okay.
will later. I just want to move on and make sure I can cover some of the critical things this class. But again, thank you for asking these questions early on. We're telling the human story in this class. We're trying to understand how humans got here, how they then created this thing called civilization, how civilization took off and led to the point we are now, which is in 10,000 years, just peanuts when it comes to, you know, cosmic time. we humans are now the first spacefaring species. We're leaving the planet, and maybe Elon Musk will go with them all, because I'm sick and tired of hearing him and ranting and raving about everything. So maybe he can go to his own planet and let him do his
Yes,
thing with all
please.
his wealthy, men who just crave attention so much. Yeah. Remember Will Smith goes up and he slaps Chris Ross at the Academy Awards? Remember that?
Mm.
And then Chris Rock said afterwards, you know what the problem is with people today? They're addicted to attention. Yeah, maybe Elon Musk is just, all that technology, and he can talk to everybody every moment. He just got to be the center of attention every single second.
Oh, yes.
Go to Mars and do it, and leave us your great inventions, and there's more to being human than making a lot of money. You're going to see that in this story. We humans, what makes us tick? Okay. I'd like to stop. I think I've given all of you just a little bit of a sense of what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, what's going to happen. It's not complete, it's just the beginning. Before we have an activity, do any of you have any questions for me or for any of the other students? And then we're going to get some buzzing going here. You guys are going to get up on your feet, and I'll show you how this is going to work, okay? But are you all good? I'd like to give Atif a round of applause for, thank you for starting this process, okay? Get ready, because one of you is going to be doing this next week, but maybe he'll be our default. And we just say, Atif, go to the board and write this down, okay? Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. And I'm going to, by way of explaining this, I'm going to show you something where you can see this in action. We have a Vimeo channel along with a YouTube channel where all the classes are posted. There's a huge amount of material here from over the years, and all sorts of things I've written and conferences I've spoken at about the global class and what we're doing, and I can talk about that later. But here's what I just want to show you. This was our class on Wednesday that we had, and let me just come back to the. I've got the wrong. Okay, I'll just enlarge this. Okay. Whoops. Little tech moment. So you see this right here? Oops. You see all those students standing there in front of the video wall? That was our Humanities Destiny class on Wednesday. And we had a little activity where half the class faces the other half, and they talk to each other. And then I had you moving around so you all get to meet each other. It's called speed meeting. And it worked really well. So I'd like to do that with you guys now. I'd like to give all of you a chance to meet each other. And then I'm going to figure out while we're doing this, and here you're going to see a living, breathing example of the human being trying to think through something on his feet. This is what we humans do well. We have a problem, we've got to figure it out fast. So I'm going to have to figure out how to bring the online students into this little activity. But let's just get this going. So first, I just want to do a head count, and we'll go from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Lovely. Just like Wednesday's class, there were 18 students. So you are numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Could you stand and come and face this way? Okay. And let me just come back to. Okay, good. So you will see this online, what's happening. 9 students. Now the rest of the students, you can just be able to fit right in this little kind of semicircle. It's kind of intense. That's good, okay? So 9. Now the rest of you, I'd like you to stand in front of each person. So Sumita, come and stand in front of Chantel, okay? And what's your name? Michael, please stand in front of Justin, okay? And then the rest of you stand in front of each next person. And let's see if we can line this up properly, okay? Good. Thank you, David. Okay, come on. Yep. Okay, so everybody's going to be standing in front of one person. Good. And it should be even up. 9 in one line, 9 in the other. So everybody should be facing a person because you're going to talk to that person in a few minutes when I say go. Have any of you done this activity before? Hold on. Let's see. Maybe I did we should have 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, maybe because join over here, okay? Yeah, face him. And if you find yourself with not one person, it might be you join someone else and you're with 2 with them, okay? But we'll get this working, okay? So what are you going to talk about? Well, here's what I'd like you to do. And for all of you online, just be patient. I will bring you into this momentarily. And let me just make sure I can talk to you. This is my fun little moment where I can talk. Yeah, okay. So for the next 15 or 20 minutes, we're going to end the class at 1:45, and we haven't had a break, so we'll end 15 minutes early. Is that okay? Usually we'll take a little break, but today I'd like you to talk to each other for 5 minutes about what you expect from this class. Maybe what I said so far is not what you're expecting. You may have some other expectations. What kinds of questions? What do you want me to teach you so that you come out of this class feeling like you've really gained something? What do you want from this class? Talk to each other about that, okay? And then I'm going to say switch. And then everybody's going to take a step left at that point. And if you're at the end, you'll come around and you'll be facing a new person. And you do that again. What do you want from this class? Talk to each other about that. And then at the end of it, we're going to take up your answers on the smartboard. Does that make sense? But you're talking to a different person. Every 5 minutes, you're going to come and you're going to talk to it. And that person is going to tell you what he or she would like. You're going to tell that person. And then he or she may have some question for you. And you may learn something from that person. So each time you are saying the same thing. But each time you're meeting somebody different with a different set of ears. Does that make sense? Okay, well, I'll help you. Okay, I'll come and I'll help. Do any of you have questions? Are you good? Because that's a good question. And we want to make sure you understand. Okay. I will call, in fact, when I say switch, I will do this, which is my old-fashioned. When you hear that, you take a step left and you start talking to the next person. Make sense? On your marks, get set, go. Okay, so the online students, I'm going to come to you in a moment. Yeah. What's that? You join her. Yeah, you join. You can. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Atif. Good. Okay. So the online students can only hear me. You can't really hear them, right, Mayte? Would you say you can hear me?
Yes, only you.
Yeah, okay, so now here's what I want to do. I got to figure this out. We have, right now, I'm going to check and see who we have online, all of the participants. And we have Jonathan, we have Lydia, we have Maite, we have Priscilla, we have George, Josh, Julian, Matthew, and Yasmin. So I'd like to make sure I know who is all here online because some of you are, may not even be fully present. I know. So Jonathan, could you just say yes, I'm here in the live chat? I just want to make sure you're here. Okay, go to the live chat. Oh, good, thanks. Okay, Lydia, I know you're here. Maite, I know you're here. Priscilla, definitely good. George, are you here? George, just go yes or no. Okay? George may be great. Because I don't know, it could be an avatar, you could be somewhere. Excellent, George. Okay, Josh, you're here, right? I think we went through this already. Just go into the live chat. I want to make sure you're here. Josh, yes or no? Are you present? Julian, I think you're present. Great. Okay. Matthew and Yasmin, can you just confirm that you are in the class? Matthew, Yasmin, great. Okay. Excellent. So we've got most of you are there. For now, what I'd like to do, since I don't fully know how to use the group function in the video conferencing system, you're a large group. I'd like all of you to have a discussion together, okay? While the group here is having a discussion in person, I'd like all of you to have a discussion, whether you talk to each other in audio or live chat, but I'd like you to do the same thing, is explain to each other, what do you want from this class? What do you want from this class? So you can start with Jonathan, for example, or Lydia. We'll start with Jonathan. Jonathan, you explain to everybody, here's what you want. And then the others, if you have anything you would like to say to Jonathan, feel free. And then move on to Lydia and Maite so that everyone has a chance to share what they want with each other. Everyone may not have the chance because we're a little tight for time, but at least we'll try, okay? So start with Jonathan. Jonathan, go ahead and just either in the live chat or ideally in audio in real time, please tell the others what you want from this course. Go ahead.
Does my microphone work?
Good. Go ahead. Yep.
Okay. I guess what I want
Great.
from this class is to
Excellent.
learn more about our overall shared history, in a sense. Like
Step left. One left. Okay. I'm just giving directions to the
Whatnot.
in-person. Good. Okay, now. Good, Priscilla. I see. I can't hear all of you. I've had to turn the audio down here in the room so it doesn't interfere with the in-person. If you want to say something to me, just put it in the live chat, okay? Otherwise, I will assume that all of you are now beginning to interact around this question, okay? So, and I like what Priscilla, I'm interested in improving my understanding of human evolution. Excellent. Let's see some more in there, either in the live chat or you share it with each other.
To be honest, well, hi everyone. To be honest, when I started pick this course, I expected more essays and research assignments on the history of the world and ancient history. But now that it's more a philosophy class, I'm pretty excited. So, and we get to study human and our evolution through time and how we've developed. And I really like the idea that we'll get to see our milestones.
Okay, can I go? All right. Well, I love history.
One step left. Keep going. I'm going to keep you moving. Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Are you good?
Yes,
You're good now? You understand what's happening? Great.
I'm deaf now. Okay.
Okay. Good, guys. And I see you online.
I
Nice.
took
I see
this,
Lydia. I
this
see
course
Patricia.
because
You keep going.
I love history. I have been reading history since I was 8. And I would like to perhaps know or discuss or have a different point of view about, I don't know, certain.
Is my microphone distracting for the online group? Are you picking up audio from the in-person conversation? Just go ahead a little. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn my microphone off. Okay, Lydia? That way, and then
Yeah. Shall I continue?
Yeah, continue.
Okay, so I like history. I have been reading history since I was 8. I have studied along with philosophy and sociology. And I would like to perhaps hear some other points of view. I don't consider many points of view to be respected anyway, but still, let's listen what they have to say. And what I can see now or say now is I'm so grateful not being in the class because I hate these high school dynamics. And that's pretty much it. Who's next?
I honestly have no clue who's next, but I really like that statement. I wouldn't want to be in there either with it just seems very
Yes.
but it's just interesting because I wanted to make it, but there was no parking as per usual at Durham College. You can never find parking.
Oh, but you can do what I do. I leave my car in the elementary school in Queen Elizabeth in Simcoe.
And you walk
before
or you take
downtown,
the bus?
and I take the bus and then I go to school.
Smart.
It's like 5
That's very
minutes away.
smart. I usually just hope for the best and find parking, and I just don't pay, and I just go to class and hope for the best. But probably should start doing that too. This class seems very interesting, though. I was not expecting religion to be a topic of discussion just because it is such a crazy topic to discuss in public and with multiple people's opinions, and some are very strongly bound to their faith and what they've been brought up with. But I do like the topic of religion. It's a good topic, especially for those who aren't aware of the multitudes of religions and cultural differences. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. But yeah, society scares me, as I wrote, and Priscilla agrees. People are frightening to me, and yeah.
Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
true. I feel
argue
the
so
same way.
much. We're gonna argue so much over religion, but
Yeah, I
we
agree.
really enjoy that.
I don't think it's a topic to be discussed in a classroom.
No, but you know, objectively, religion has been an engine to
Yeah.
make human history work.
It's true.
Yeah, it's part of society and society's rules.
I do agree.
A huge chunk of like our modern moral compass, and like not just like from a Christian standpoint, from an Islamic standpoint, and a Buddhist standpoint, a lot of our laws and like modern philosophies about life have been shaped by the religions of the past.
It's very
So,
true. I do
I
feel
think-
as though, like, the world now, especially Western world, I'm talking specifically, we've strayed so far away from religious morals. That's how I've been seeing how things have been unraveling, and how, religions do create wars to some extent.
Yeah, that's like society, right? Society is taking a twisted turn somewhere.
It's misconstruing
almost-
the whole concept.
Yeah, it's
of
almost like
religion.
society needs a reset button.
Yes, but for example, if over the class we are just going to argue about religion, it's gonna be so boring.
No, we have to be very open, like,
Okay.
for those who
Yes,
are
it's gonna be so boring. Like, thank God this, thank God that. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful that we don't debate like,
Yes.
oh, is it real or not? I think we have to all, even those people who are religious,
Yeah.
have to debate
Yes,
from the
but-
standpoint that other people don't believe in it, and you
Yeah,
have to
but
keep
for
that in mind
example-
the whole discussion.
Sorry, I tend to interrupt. Sorry, just
Yeah, don't worry.
okay. So if we talk about religion, it's just a brush, because for
Mhm.
example, Roman Empire grew and could conquer most of Europe, not because of religion, because of engineering, and they manage of water and
Mhm.
how they build roads. That's what we have to see. That's
Yeah,
what we have to
no, yeah, I
study.
agree.
Okay,
Mhm.
so religion, yes, but it's only a brush. Don't take over it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if we
of
really think
course.
about it, isn't time based on Christianity? Like we measure time BC, before Christ, and after Christ. So
Yeah,
it's like
the
it's
Islamic
one of
calendar is
those
completely different.
pivoted points of history that yes, it's part of, you know,
Yes.
part of it's how society started, right? Like 2023 years ago.
No, that's how European society started because you need to
Right.
be a
Our
cosmovision.
society now. Yes.
Okay,
I
that's
do
how
think it's
European society started. But even though we take Jesus' birth
almost as a starting point.
as a break point for our time, there are many other things.
I just don't like the
If
one thing I
you
don't.
if we are talking now, what you can be religious, but whatever has to be the first thing to rule your life is law. Because you break law, you get punished.
The problem I think
God
what
is not going to punish you.
not
Okay,
the problem, but
police is going to punish you.
it's like a discriminatory thing in our Western world that we're governed by a Catholic Christian government where those who are Jewish or Muslim or Buddhist or Hindu, all of their religious days are not celebrated in the way Catholic days are. And by all means, I'm down to have a week off of school because of Christmas or whatever it may be. But other people have their religious days as well that are not so much accepted or open to because for Eid, Ramadan, I didn't have a day off. I lost marks because I wasn't there for my religious holiday. So I think that
Religious.
standpoint of religion in our country is kind of discriminatory to other people's religions.
I
Not
think it's
just that.
because it's like minority, right? Minority groups. So if most of people are or were Christians, I think that's why. And in terms of law, like when you say, "Oh, everything started by law," like the commandments were laws.
Yes,
So
but there
even
were
then,
laws before the commandments. Yes,
true.
3, 4, 5, 10,000 before 10,000 years before the commandments, there were laws, and there are universal laws that doesn't need to be religious
For sure. It's just
or
standard moral.
Christian or Muslim or anything. It's universal laws. A
But you
lie is a
see
lie
that
here and in
too.
China and in Africa. A lie is a lie. A
Hmm.
robbery is a robbery here and wherever you step on the planet.
But good and bad can be decided by the person being asked of what's good or bad. Like everyone has a
Yeah,
different moral compass regardless of the religion. Like
like
five
most
people
people
can,
would.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. But most people would like agree that murder is bad, and
for
yet
sure.
for like thousands of years, it was so common that they like some people like
Okay, for
idolize
the
war
online students, we're
gods,
just
to
about coming
death
to the end, and
gods.
then in a moment,
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
tell all the in-person
it
Like
was so
some
participants
common,
countries
to go
and
back
so
to their seats, and we're going to
yeah,
take this up.
like
So get
even
ready
destroy
for the
and get
take-up
your
in about
hand
3
cut.
minutes,
that
But
okay?
that's not
We'll
huh?
morally
continue
correct. But
your
at the same time,
conversation.
some can argue
Yeah,
that
of
Be
course
ready
not.
for the take-up, and we're going to have somebody at the smart board shortly
Yeah,
put
like
down
it's
all
not
the key
right
points,
at
as
all,
many
but
as we
some
can,
people didn't
and then we're
think
going to
that,
end the
it's like
class
it's such
at
it's not a gray area in the sense that murder
1:45.
is always bad,
So in
but
about
like
10
they
minutes or
didn't think
so.
that. That's the
Okay?
interesting part,
but it's also, I think, cultural too, what we've grown
It
up with, what
is.
we've been taught
I
that
can't hear you very well. So if you want to speak to me, put it in the live chat, and I'll check.
but yeah, like some cultures
3 minutes,
deem
and
one thing
we
wrong,
will take
where
this up.
other cultures or
Okay,
even
I'm going to
people
turn my
within the
microphone
same
off.
country can see it
Hmm.
as the opposite, which is crazy to me. I don't know. People are
Yeah.
weird. Long
No,
story.
it's interesting. Yeah, it really is. People are very weird, and it created a lot of like disconnection in some ways. And I think the
100%.
internet is helping to bridge that in a lot of ways too, which is really fascinating to watch like real time as people like come together.
yeah, it's creating a lot of unity, but at the same time, a lot of like anger and hatred towards people for, you know,
I
having the
think
right
so.
to speak their mind or opinions. Like,
Yeah, no, I
I don't
agree.
know.
Yeah, go
It's
ahead. No, because like the thing is, when he was discussing the idea of like what makes humans tick, and all I could think about was the fact that like humans always want to do more, and they can
Mhm.
only do that when they have freedom. But then also you want a huge chunk of understanding that you have freedom is to experience oppression. So
True.
I find that like the human perspective and the human experience is so contradictory,
Yeah.
like just on an individual basis, not even on a societal factor.
Darling, sorry. Let me, that's what I wanted to talk when
Mhm.
the professor
Okay,
didn't let
everybody,
me.
I'm gonna now shout out
Humans don't
to
want to do
everybody.
more. What moves the people to do something
Okay, everybody, please go
is
back to
fear.
your seats, and we're gonna take this up. Go back, and Atif, can you go back to the board, please? Yeah, go back to your
Yes.
seats, and we're gonna take this up, okay? Excellent. And the online students have been also interacting, which is excellent. So we're gonna get some good stuff on this smart board. Thank you very much for being patient and allowing us to experiment with an activity today where I'm flying a bit by the seat of my pants. But I can pull many things out of my pantry of teaching over the years and make it work as long as the tech is working. So what we want to do now is we want to give Atif some, and I'll just bring the camera back over there for the online. There he is for the online students too. We want to put some key points down about what was discussed among all of you, not just the in-person group, but also online. So we're going to start in person, okay? And then we'll come back to the online group. And we only have about 5 minutes left, so we're only going to be able to scrape the surface, get a few thoughts down. But at the beginning of next week's class, before my lecture on where we begin, we will review that with you, okay? We will have that as a saved document. Please keep in mind that on DC Connect, here's how it's going to work in terms of the resources and the many students who are only going to be watching the recordings. If you go to the content page this weekend, for example, you will see on the content page class 1 folder, class 2 folder, class 3 folder, class 1 September the 6th, class 2 September the 13th, class 3 class 1 September the 8th, class 2 September the 15th. In each folder, you will see the recording of the class that was on YouTube. You will see the PDF of that. And finally today, I've reminded myself to save the live chat because I've often not been able to. So the live chat will be there because there's a lot of good comments put in the live chat. So all of these resources for that first class where we did our live learning together will be there for you. And that's what you will review for your assignments and for your reflections. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. And if there are any other resources that you would like students to see related to that class, just email it to me and I will post it in the folder. Okay? So now we're just going to scrape the surface with a few key points and we're going to start in person. Who is ready to tell us what they kind of sensed from the conversation that was really important in terms of what you want from this class? Or maybe you just tell us what you want. You don't need to tell us everything, but something that is important, that sticks with you from that little exchange you had in meeting different people. What was sort of stated that you think is important about what we need to be doing in this class? Let me go over here. I know I can go to Ryan and I can do this. I can go default. You got it? Okay. Is it anybody want to Ariana? Yeah, and this is a student who wasn't sure at the beginning and now you're ready. The activity. Okay, but it's good. But you're in it, and you're go ahead, Ariana. So tell us.
It's not that I was unsure about the activity, as I just didn't understand kind of like what was being asked, sort of thing.
Yep.
Like, I didn't know if you wanted us to only talk about what we were expecting, or if it was just like a general like, "Hi, my name's Ariana. I'm in social service work." Like,
Right.
right. So,
Okay. So what do you want from this class?
it's. I can tell you what I don't want from this class.
Okay. Fair enough.
I personally
Don't want, and then we'll make our points. Don't want. Go ahead, Ariana.
I personally really did not like history in high school.
Okay.
However, I went to a Catholic school and I had world religion, which was a part of my curriculum at school. And that very much interested me in like the history of religion and stuff like that.
So what do you not want?
Well, I don't want it to be like a high school history class.
I don't want a high school history class.
Yeah.
Okay. I will ask you right now, and maybe I should be told this outright by the students. I can handle it. I'm a big boy, and I will think about it. Does this feel like a high school history class?
No.
Good. I don't want a high school history class. It's enough. Ariana, that's good. We're going to move around. We'll go to Ryan, and then could you give what's your name at the back? Sorry, Chantel. Can you get Chantel there's a third microphone here. Maybe Alec, just give it to, and then we'll come to Ryan, okay? So Chantel, please go ahead, and we know we don't want a high school history class. I can tell you, don't want to deliver that, but never know. I come in, try to do something, and then the students may say something that I need to hear. Chantel, go ahead. Yes. Nice. Broader, more open, more inclusive look at history. Broader, more open, more inclusive. Are you getting that sense that it will be that? Yeah. Great. Thank you, Chantel. What program are you in, by the way? Yeah? It wasn't on? Okay. Well, I'll just repeat what Chantel said, and we've got that on the board. Broader, more inclusive, more open. Broader, more inclusive, more open class. We'll go to Ryan, then we'll go online, and then we're going to be done. And we'll review this next week, so don't worry about it. Ryan, make sure your microphone's on. Please go ahead.
I think it's on. Everyone hearing it?
Is it on?
I think.
Just tap it, and you should. It should be. Yeah. Can you go ahead? If you can't hear Ryan, Maite, just let us know. Okay. If you can't, go ahead, Ryan.
I kind of want to get more.
We cannot hear him. Put it in your mouth.
Like my own way of thinking. Like I find like on my own time.
Put the microphone in your mouth.
Oh, hold on a sec. What's just? Well, don't worry about it. Go, Maite. Go ahead. All right.
Put the microphone in your mouth.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say. I know it's. They're not such good microphones. That is a very. I don't want to say that, Ryan, because that is. I would never say that as a teacher. Put the microphone in your mouth. However, you get the point. Karaoke it, okay?
Yeah.
That way she will hear. You're right.
I'll enunciate.
It's the microphone. Go ahead.
But I want to get a bit of a more broader perspective of even like my own way of thinking. Like
Closer.
Louder.
Okay.
Louder.
Go ahead. Put it right up to the lip. Yeah.
I don't want to catch like a bacterial infection or something.
Okay.
But I think it's stereo now, so you can probably hear. But yeah, I just want to get a broader perspective of even my own understanding, because like I feel like anytime you like even today in class, you know, when the word suppression came up, I feel like I was having a breakthrough moment on how I look at things, just because like,
oh, let's put this up there, and then we just got to check online for breakthrough moments. You want I will be telling you the story largely of breakthroughs towards the realization of greater power for ourselves. That's the human story. And maybe that will translate into breakthroughs for yourself in terms of opening yourself up to something. Great word, Ryan. Breakthroughs. Okay, let's leave it at there for now. Okay, I just want to check in online. Breakthrough moments. Okay, the online group, could one person please jump in? And why don't we, it can be anyone, but maybe just for the sake of keeping it organized, I'll volunteer. Lydia, go ahead, or Jonathan, you're at the top here. Can you tell us what you want?
To be honest, I want like one of the other students said, I don't want like a high school history class. I want a discussion, and I'm already getting that. And it's like when we were talking, like the online students, we had a like in-depth discussion about like religion, human nature, the whole thing. And I'm really excited for that coming this year.
Oh, can I put a question down for Atif to say something like, what is human nature? Exactly.
Human nature doesn't exist.
We will try to answer that. What
No,
is
I'm
human
telling you.
nature?
I'm telling you.
We will. What is human nature?
Mm-mm.
By the way, you're going to see that there were many other creatures, many of whom died out and are extinct, that were here long before us, and we've grown out of them.
Yes, but that's another thing.
Oh, hold on. We're going to stop. I'm going to stop because I want to
Okay.
let you go. And I would rather, I will tell you a brief story of why I like to end when things are going pretty well. What's that? Go out on a high note, and here's how I will say this. I used to be a television producer, and I produced one show that was kind of successful called Zoo Diaries. You can still see it on the National Geographic Channel or whatever, and you'll see I was executive producer, and I spent a lot of time at the Toronto Zoo getting these stories of zookeepers and their animals. It was an early reality show many years ago. I spent some time with the elephants. Now, I'm not a big fan of zoos, not a big fan of captivity for anything, but it is what it is. Zoos are a breeding ground today for a lot of endangered species. We can save endangered species by breeding them in zoos and re-releasing them into the wild. The elephants, whenever the elephant would be trained, I think Patsy was the name of one of them. The zookeeper would say, Patsy, come here. You know, we want to train you today. And then Patsy would get a little bit of food, and Trunk would come up and put something in Patsy's mouth, and they'd tell Patsy what to do. And if Patsy ended the training session not understanding something, if the next training session began, she would have forgotten everything that happened. But if the training session ended when she understood what to do, then the next training session, she would come back and she would remember, and they would pick up where they left off. In other words, you end with an elephant. I'm not comparing you to elephants, although we do share a lot of our DNA. 90% of our DNA is shared with all living things. 98.4% is shared with our closest living relative, the chimpanzee. That's our DNA. We'll talk a lot about cellular biology later because it's fascinating. So let's end like good elephants now. You're understanding, we're kind of at a high note, and then we'll just pick up where we left off next week. What do you think? Good? Okay, everybody. Thank you for a lovely, great, stimulating class for me. And we're going to start with the Big Bang next week. And I'm going to show you a video from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology of the best science recreating what we think happened 13.7 billion years ago and how we got from there to the beginning of humanity. It's going to be a roar, okay? And you'll see it all next week. So take care. And if you need to reach me, just email me, okay? And I'm here if you want to talk to me. We're done. Thank you, Atif. I'll come and save it and make sure that's done. I'm going to save the live chat. I don't want to lose that. And